This is Charlie Parsons Boxing Social here with my friend Bradley Rea after last Saturday night's defeat to Tyler Denny. Look, I said to you, I didn't want to put any pressure on you, but I said, look, I know that if there was anyone that you probably would have liked to go through last weekend's
You're the
performance.
man. You're the man. I'm gonna open up to me. I'm gonna break down to on Skype and start crying.
Look, let's just go. First thing, I was watching in Dubai. Found myself a little way to watch it in the end after missing the first couple of rounds. I was making all sorts of noises in the bar in the ninth when you had him out to the body. They were looking at me like I was a strange old geezer. But look, how are you mentally, Brad? Obviously, your first defeat, but how is everything with you? Are you all okay?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Obviously gutted. Obviously disappointed. But I think with the mentality I've got in this game, I knew this day would probably come. One point, with the I'm happy taking fights, tough fights where there's a possibility of losing. I could very easily still be undefeated right now. You know what I mean? And picked fights where there was little risk and I would have won. That could have happened, but that's it's not me. It's not my mentality. And you know, first loss as a professional. Is it going to be my last? Probably not, mate, because I've still got this mentality. You know what I mean? I still want to test myself. I still want to get in there with the best. I think the reason why I probably am so disappointed is because of the performance, and I feel like I could have and I should have done better. Taking nothing away from Tyler, I think a lot of that was down to the way he performed. He didn't let me perform. Um, but yeah, I think I was far from my best in there on Saturday night, and if people are going to judge me off that performance, and if people are going to think that's me in there, well, so be it. You know what I mean? I've got a point to prove now, and it potentially might open up a few doors for me. People that wouldn't have had fights with me before might fancy the chances, and let them think that it's down to me to prove otherwise now.
Look, don't get me wrong. I would say I'm an armchair fan, but I suppose I've got a little bit more experience than most just in being around the boxing game week in, week out and being around the gyms. You would have looked back at that performance and I was watching it. I missed the first couple of rounds, but I think towards the end of the fight, you were busier, you were going to the body more, especially after the clinch, there was the opportunity to go to the body. Reflecting back now, do you feel that maybe you just weren't busy enough in some of the opening rounds, or was it that Tyler wasn't allowing you to be busy enough? He was in and out with the footwork. He was quite tricky.
Yeah, I think Tyler kind of broke, didn't let me get into my rhythm early on, and didn't let me settle. And he set that kind of precedent from early on, and he just maintained it. And I just struggled to get into the fight. I think I was waiting far too long, looking for single shots, far too static, too easy to hit. But this is just off me. I've not watched the fight back yet. Either I can't not watched it back yet. Will do eventually, but this is just for me thinking back to the fight. So much room for improvement, mate. So much room for improvement. But like I said, I think that credit where credit's due. I think a lot of that was down to the way Tyler performed, and Tyler didn't let me settle, didn't let me get into the fight. But yeah, mate, it's what it is. Fair play to him, and if we can get that fight on again down the line at some point, I'd love to. But I know that after Saturday night, I'm not just going to say I want that rematch and it'll happen, because Tyler will want to move on to bigger and better things. I'm gonna have to force it. I'm gonna have to just get myself in a position where that fight can happen again. And if that's the case, so be it. I'll go down that route to kind of feel like I've got to put things right. You know what I mean, before we kind of move on and get on to anything else. But like you say, mate, that fight's not going to happen overnight. Probably be down the line if we can get it on again. But I'd love at some point to have another crack at him.
I think it's refreshing for us, and you put out a tweet quite soon after, and just a picture of the two of you, and it wasn't to be my night. And I think, like I say, it is refreshing to us because we see a lot of stuff in boxing, but I think straight away, you came out and you weren't you admitted it, you weren't the better man on the night, etc., etc. How important is it all in this to be true to yourself? Because fighters do take losses, and they sort of even when they have lost and they don't get the decision, there's a mental sort of, but you yourself, you've just taken it on the chin. Is that a testament to your character and how you've been brought up and how you've always been? You don't let these things define you.
Yeah, mate, it's just the way I am. A lot of people have said to me like, "Oh, you were so humble afterwards, and you were a good sportsman." Like, I don't want to be humble and I don't want to be a good sportsman. So I want to fucking win. You know what I mean? And like, it hurt, mate. It hurt, but you've got to give credit where credit's due, and Tyler deserved the credit. And I've said, mate, if I was gonna get beat and I was gonna lose to someone, I'm glad it's someone like Tyler. He's come up the hard way, mate. He's done things the hard way. He's had knocks early on. He's had losses early on. You know what I mean? And if there's a fighter that kind of deserves to do well and get noticed now, it's a fighter like him. We're all in the same boat at the end of the day, aren't we, mate? You know what I mean? We're all trying to reach the same goals, and I know he's got kids and stuff, and you're just trying to provide for your family, aren't you? At the end of the day, but it's nice people are saying that. Yeah, it's so humble and that, but fuck that, mate. You know what I mean? I want to win fights. I want to win fights, and at the end of the day, if I do lose, if I do get beat, I will be gracious in defeat. But I don't plan on doing that again, mate. I don't want to do that again. It's not a nice feeling.
Let's talk about Tyler, as you said, like a really, really good geezer. And if you're going to lose to someone, may as well be him. I remember he dropped me a follow on Twitter and we were going back and forth. And I was like, you know what? I like this geezer. And then the fight got made and we had no contact for about 8 weeks. And afterwards, I messaged him and I said, sorry, bro, I've got to be impartial in this job, but the one person I can never support you against is Brad. But even in that, he was brilliant, and we've gone back and forth since. Just to touch on him, a good performance and moving on. And like you say, he has done it the hard way, and you're so young and you'll be able to come again. I think he's 31. He's got to make the most of this opportunity now.
Yeah, 100%, mate. He's in a position there where that British title's there. You know what I mean? And I hope he gets a shot, mate, and I hope he can win that British title. Like you say, he deserves it, mate. He's not been signed to any big promoters or anything. He's gone in the away corner numerous times, and you've got to take your hat off to him. If he can go that route and if he can win that title in a couple of fights' time, mate, I'll be knocking on that door and maybe that rematch can happen for a bigger title. But yeah, like you say, mate, no hard feelings, happy for him. But somewhere down the line, I'd love to get back in with him.
Well, Brad, what is next for you now? I know we've got Christmas coming up. Are you just sort of enjoying yourself? Obviously, people watching this at Boxing Social won't know, but me and you got on for a long time. And I see your girlfriend Abby. She's posting up that you've like been eating out, quite a lot. Just enjoying it and making the most of sort of this time where you ain't got to, live on 2 carrots and a bit of salmon, and you can go out and you can have a pint and you can have a curry or a couple of slices of pizza or something. Are you just making the most of this time?
Yeah, definitely, mate, definitely. Because I can't remember the last time, I've just been able to switch off and have a little bit of downtime and just be a normal 24-year-old kid for a little bit. Obviously, with me and I've got a little bit of time off, so a few beers, mate, a few bit of eating out, well, a lot of eating out. Fuck it, mate, we're dusting the old dancing shoes off tonight, mate. You're having it. The old Brad's coming out, mate. We're going for a dance, so yeah, just gonna enjoy myself up until Christmas, mate, and then get back on the horse next year and just push on. We've still got the same goals, same ambitions. Just a minor setback, mate.
Well, brother, thank you for speaking to me, and I know it's quite soon and everything, so I'm making the time. I appreciate it. I'm hoping to pop up before Christmas so we can smash a couple of festive bakes down. Look, you've got
Uh,
a big following, a lot of people that really care for you and support you and want you to do well. Just a message to everyone who's sent support and etc. etc.
yeah, you know what, mate? I've always been told, like, after a loss, when you're at your lowest, you find out kind of who your real friends are. Mate, over the past few days, I've never had so many messages, so many phone calls, so many comments, and honestly means a lot, mate. It does mean a lot to everyone. Obviously, I've not had a chance to get back to everyone yet. My head's a bit battered, and I'm preoccupied eating and drinking. But I'll get there. I'll get there in the end. But to everyone who bought tickets, honestly, mate, when I walked out to that arena on Saturday night, it was. I've always had a good support, mate. But the noise that arena made when I walked out, and afterwards, obviously, it's very disappointed. But I just remember thinking of that and thinking, I need to get back to that point. I need to get back to that point, and I'm confident I will do. Confident I will do, and one day we'll be selling that arena out, and this minor speed bump in the road, it'll just be something to look back on and something that's made me a better fighter in the long run.
Minor speed bump in the road it is, Brad. You're only 24, you're young, and that's coming from a 19-year-old. So go get them dancing shoes on tonight.
Man,
And,
I'm gonna
look
shake
forward.
this cast about tonight, mate. He's getting sent in.
Look forward to catching up soon, bro.